Hello there, Scorpios. Welcome to your March 2017 tarot reading. So, the energy that I am feeling coming through for this month here is I feel like the past 2 months you might have been in a position where you felt like you couldn't really dictate the direction of things. You felt like you couldn't make a move. You felt like you couldn't really affect the outcome. So, it's almost seems like whatever you tried to do, it was a lot of it has to do with waiting on the decision from another person, waiting on a partner to decide where they want to be, waiting for a partner to decide where to meet up, waiting for, supervisors, people in positions of authority as well, to tell you what projects you need to tackle. So I do feel a period of shifting priorities. I do see a period where you couldn't really do the things that you wanted to do in the manner that you'd like and in the timeline that you'd like. So there might have been stalled communication. There might have been a lot of frustration that you were dealing with. And coming into the month of March, I feel that it is going to be clearing up. However, I do sense that there's still, that whole concept about waiting on another person before you can implement a move. And then I feel for others of you, there are definitely opportunities that are in your environment, but I feel like you're not budging. So it could be, because you feel like the other opportunities that are coming through pose as a risk. It's an unknown, so you're not really certain whether or not it's wise for you to make this move. So I feel like you've been on the fence for quite some time. And if for those of you who are dealing with this, I feel that it is going to clear up. And I feel like if you have been waiting on the fence, despite new opportunities coming through, you're going to be making a big move associated with, grabbing those opportunities before they disappear. Okay. So great energy coming through for the month of March. We are also, shifting into the constellation of Pisces, a fellow water sign. So I feel like the energy is greatly pushing you forward, pushing for you to gain traction and to gain momentum and to, bust out of those fear-based ideologies or even deeply rooted ideologies that have kept you in feeling very stuck or have kept you feeling as if you don't want to invite change into your life. Okay, so this is a really good month here for new things to start and you no longer feeling frustrated. So I feel like it's a very, very forward-moving, one-direction oriented type of a month. So let's get into your reading here. What I have here coming through in your 12th house here is new work situations, new work environment, okay? So this can be a new project base. This can be getting, compensation for a project. So if you've been waiting for the past few months for, payout for some type of a project that you did, it is going to be coming through for this month. So finances looks very good. It just looks overall to be very vibrant, to be very bustling, and to be very just reliable overall, okay? And then for others of you, there's new projects that you can do, new income generating endeavors. And I feel like many of you are either working in a capacity where you're juggling multiple priorities. And at any time, if there's like a blockage in one thing, you shift gears and you shift into another project. And I feel like you're very, very good at juggling your priorities, handling things. You're very good about switching gears from one environment into the next because you are highly adaptable. And you're very skilled at, managing all of your priorities and making sure everything is lined up and making sure everything is set up so that you can resume and just get back into it. So shifting gears, I feel, has been really, really good for you. And I'm also feeling that many of you are handling multiple priorities, multiple projects at the same time. So there's a third project coming through and you're like, I don't know if I have the time to do that. I am going to have to take a rain check on that because I have so-and-so on my plate right now and I can't really commit to this other thing. So I feel like you have some good things coming through and you might feel like I want to whatever you do, I feel like you want to do it to the best of your capabilities. You don't want to shortchange anybody, but more so, you don't want to shortchange yourself. You don't want to be a slave to money. And so you don't want to just, dash off some random project at the last minute just to get paid. I feel like you want the quality of your product of your work to speak for your own capability. So you see the project, you see work as an extension of yourself, and you want it to be perfect. And so I feel that, on the one hand, you're going to be feeling a little bit like sulky when you have to turn down this project. But I feel that taking it on, it's going to be really good for you. So they want you to take on new projects and just see where it leads, okay? Or scrap away things that you no longer feel like you're emotionally happy doing anymore, so that you can make time for this new project, okay? So that's what I'm sensing coming through from the majority of you. Your financial situation here looks really good. This is kind of like being on top, rising to the top, having projects, waiting on payouts. So you might be working on a commission basis. You might have gotten like a half of the deposit, first of all, from the client. And once you finish up the projects, you get like, the final payout. So I feel like a lot of you have little odd projects that you're tying up loose ends with. And then you're waiting for a financial windfall, a major, major financial windfall coming through for this month. It is going to be coming through. So I feel like you're waiting patiently for it, okay? But you can't really affect the outcome. You can't rush the process. You can't really rush them and pester them about payment. So I do feel like you're going to be getting some type of a big financial promise that was is due to you as a result of completing meeting a major requirement, being able to land a bonus, and meeting a specific quota. So you're getting bonuses, you're getting major payments made out to you. So it's going to be a very, very good month overall. So financially speaking, things are really solid, new projects coming through, and new work for some of you. It is actually going to be really good for you to go with the new job, okay? Because the old job or the current existing job, what shows up here as the Six of Cups. Give me just 1 second. I'm rubbing my eyes. Okay, so the Six of Cups is a situation where there might be troubles within the work environment in a way where we're no longer jiving well with supervisors. We're no longer jiving well with the environment, okay? And I'm getting, two of the most conservative cards here. I have the Hierophant, which indicates order and tradition, things that don't change overnight. And I have the Emperor, dealing with an authority figure that might be either abusing his power, or he or she is no longer the best candidate to run the head of the department, to run the institution, or to run the business. It's almost like you're at you have some type of creative differences with a person in your work environment, and I feel like it might be a supervisor. You're clashing, and you feel like they're not the best candidate. And you feel that if I were in their shoes, I would do it differently. I would be a lot more organized. I would be a lot more efficient. I would be a lot more methodical, because it feels to me as if they might be a little bit scattered, like all over the place, scattered and just disorganized. And, with the constant change of priorities, I feel that, as a water sign, shifting gears, you might be very skilled at it, but you don't like it. You want to get things done, accomplish, get paid, and move on to the next thing. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody who is a little bit like scattered, and they're not working in the way that you would work. So there's a conflict of interest, and there's also creative differences coming through where it's making the work environment a little bit more unstable. And then on top of that, whenever we have here the Six of Cups in the reverse, or the Six of Cups overall, whenever I have this card showing up anywhere, I think of it as it is a situation that came into your life at exactly the right time that you needed it. So some of you might have been like unemployed, okay? And a project came through, and then you got comfortable, and you stayed and stayed and stayed. And it was good it might still be good. It was good for a very long time. And I feel like you got comfortable, and now you might realize that you're no longer picking up new skills. You have maxed out in everything that you were supposed to learn. You've learned everything. You can now do the job better than your supervisor. You can do the job better than your boss. And so they're telling you your skills are maxed out. You're no longer learning. This job doesn't have anything to offer you because it was supposed to be temporary. It was there when you needed it. But now you need to look at greener pastures, and you need to look at other opportunities and see what's available for you. So I feel like that's what some of you are grappling with. And I feel a lot of you have some really great innate talents, okay? Like skills that you bring to the table, where wherever people plop you, wherever you're plopped down, you will you will be able to survive. So I feel like a lot of you are just, you have great survival skills. You have great people skills as well. And for you to have great people skills, and in this work environment, you feel like you can't really persuade the other person to do a specific thing, mainly because they're so deeply entrenched in the way that they think, in the way that they operate, and they're not at a point where they want to change or reconsider that they might be doing something wrong. I feel that it's emotionally taxing for you to have to confront people like that. And so I feel as well you might want to make a change, and it is time for you to do a major career change, okay? And so leading to the career in the 10th house, we have here the Two of Swords. This is a card about decisions. This is a card about, a lot of the times, it's about denial as well. But in the reverse position, I feel like you are coming out of denial. You are realizing you're no longer making strides, making progress in this work environment. It seems as if there might be blockages when it comes to advancing. So you might want to get into a senior role and encountering blockages from supervisors who are hanging on for dear life to their position. They might be older and they don't want to retire because they're hanging on to dear life for that position. They might be out of touch with the job role. They might not be the best candidate, but they've been there for so long. They're just hanging on to dear life. And so you might realize, I can't really get that position. And I feel like in the past, you might have worked for it, hoping for the end goal to be getting that title, getting that position. And I feel like the other person's hanging on. They're not letting go. And so you might have been in denial for the past 2 months about where your career is headed. But I feel this is the month in which, those blindfolds are coming off. And you're going to have to confront the truth that this environment is not working. I need to make a move. I need to make a change. I need to do something differently. And so a lot of you are going to be seeking new income generating opportunities elsewhere. You have a lot of creative talents here, and showing up in your 5th house of creativity, we have the Two of Pentacles, which means that you're going to be juggling multiple things, figuring out multiple ways to generate money. Okay, and I feel a lot of you are relying on an innate talent in order to do that. So it could be, singing. It could be writing a book outside of your main job. It could be dancing, teaching courses, mentoring students. Even for those of you, I feel like tutoring, teaching somebody like a new language is what I'm sensing as well. And teaching younger students like how to do math. So some of you might be like a mentor or a tutor for younger kids, okay? And you're working through some type of a third-party agency. So the third party might be like a tutoring agency. You sign up, and they link you up with the people that you're meant to tutor. So I feel for those of you who are in school and you have difficulties finding work, they're telling you that's where you're supposed to go, especially if you're in like college and your town or your city is saturated with just, a bunch of college students and you can't find work just to pay the bills, just to get by. Link yourself up with some online or even, content like overseas, because, of communications breakthroughs these days. We can do these things via Skype. We can do them online through different, social media platforms as well. So if you're looking for work and if you're struggling, especially for those who are in school, it would be good for you to link yourself up with an institution, like a different agency that will allow you to tutor people, and they'll find the tutors for you. So that might help you alleviate the financial burdens of schooling somewhat, okay? So you have new work coming through. And it seems to me like, it might not be a full-time job or a full-blown, like, life-changing career track. But I do feel for right now, it is something that's going to help you shift gears, and it's going to help you navigate challenges for the next few years. So you have something coming through. It's going to be really good for you. Drop whatever is not working. Take on this new opportunity. Okay? Having said that, in terms of your fourth house here, we have a lot of change and movement and just, good energies coming through. A lot of you might be in a position where you are waiting on another person to come visit. You're waiting on another person to leave or to come visit. So there's somebody in your fourth house. This is the family. So this is somebody that you are living with or somebody you consider family. So it shows up here as the Knight of Wands, which is a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And I feel that there's going to be a lot of communication and news about this person, when they're coming, when they're leaving, how long they're staying with you as well. And then overall, with this card showing up in your fourth house, I do feel like a lot of social outings happening, okay? A lot of going out, meeting new people, having fun, or even entertaining guests at your house. So I'm seeing a lot of new people, like strangers as well, coming and going in your home environment. So you might be a teacher or even a tutor, and you have people coming in and out of your home. You might host like events, even workshops, even, working from home, doing some type of creative project. And you have a lot of clients coming to your house for consultations. They stay for an hour, they leave, and then somebody comes in. So a lot of new people coming into your home environment. And I feel like it's a good energy. And it seems to me as well, they're bringing a lot of money. Okay, so it's like projects that you're doing, home-based projects especially. When it comes to travel and things like that, here's what I'm feeling. I feel like, let me just talk about, the way that you're communicating with other people and how that's not working. And it's definitely not coming from your end. I feel like it's coming from the other person's end. So let me just say this. So we have here 2 5s, and they show up in your communication house as well as your ideology, philosophy, religion, 9th house, the higher chakra house. So this is the problem that I feel happening for this month. And it's not so much a problem, but it's just something coming through that you're going to have to be mindful about. And this is what I'm sensing. We have here the 5 of Cups, okay, in your communication sector. And the 5 of Cups basically indicates a person that has had a lot of experience and, experience with grief, experience with sadness, experience with life. This is a card about life. This is a card about, just the 5s indicate major turning points, things that we're supposed to learn so that we can become better people. And oftentimes the lessons are quite difficult. So I feel like a lot of you so it can go both ways, okay? So let me just say this so that I don't offend anybody, because I feel, honestly, Scorpios, your life is a series of challenges and upheaval. And I feel like, if you're a Scorpio watching this, I feel that, as soon as you have something stable, something would happen to throw a wrench in the works. And then it would unravel, and then you have to rebuild. So your life is a constant series of changes, evolutions. And a lot of the times you just want to be, you just want a stable life. You just want, to maintain the status quo. You want things to be as stable for you as it is for everybody else. But I feel like, because the nature of the Scorpio people is that your life is going to get easier and easier, because all the karma, it seems, is played out, from childhood. And so when you get older, I feel like it's going to get easier. Your burdens will be lifted once you start off learning all these lessons early on. That's what it feels like to me. So a lot of you might have dealt with a lot of challenges by the time you're 30, 40. And then life becomes very smooth after that, okay? Because you might realize that these are the things that I did that weren't smart, or these are the people I got involved with that were not good for me. So once all of those things are out of the way, the older years things will get easier. So that's what I feel is happening here. And this might be something that, some of you younger people, especially like, under the age of 40, you might be trying to understand. And I'm doing a poor job at this, but let me just try to get this out. So this is a card about lessons learned, right? We learn from life, and then we try to become a better person. We try to move on. When it shows up in the reverse, it's sort of like dealing with the same patterns, dealing with the same cycles, but not really learning the lesson. And I feel one of the reasons why you're not learning the lesson is because, first of all, a lot of you might have gone through a series of bad luck with money. And I feel it's almost like whenever we are so caught up with survival, whenever we're so concerned about, making the bare minimum in order to get by, we become very, very trapped in having to deal with like survival issues. Having food on the table, taking care of the kids, making sure they're fed, making sure they're going off to school. And you don't have the luxury of looking at the bigger scheme of things, looking at the bigger picture. And you don't have the luxury of even free time where you're not constantly worried. You don't have the luxury of peace, solitude, and quiet for you to look at, what have I done with my life? And what lessons am I supposed to learn? And how have I, what have I done in the past, and why are these patterns recurring? So I feel that you need to take a step back and really look at, some patterns that are emerging in your life. So for example, why do I have the same relationship partners? Why do I date different people but encounter the same energies where relationships just, start and then fall apart? Why can't they last? So I feel like there is a lot of innate work that needs to be done. But I feel like it's a process. It's going to stretch out for this year. And I feel that, it's not going to be hitting you all at once. I feel like it's still an ongoing process that you have to sift through. And I do feel that some of you, I feel that your relationships are being affected. And I honestly feel like maybe seeing a therapist to process your feelings, to process events that have happened in the past that you might have suppressed because you were in a different emotional space. So this is a really good month for you to do some type of therapeutic, have some type of a therapeutic breakthrough for those of you who are seeing a counselor, or for those of you who are dealing with these recurring patterns and you're just like, why? It's a good time for you to, seek some help outside, like an objective opinion, so that you can figure out like why things keep happening in the same manner, in the same cycles. So that's a message coming through for a small minority, okay? And so I feel like for others, this is a card about, lessons well learned. And with it showing up in the reverse, it worries me just a little bit. But I feel that, you are a very deep, profound thinker. So you know about actions and consequences. You understand patterns. You understand, recurring themes in your life. But I feel like a lot of you understand these things, but you don't incorporate it to make better decisions. So I feel like there are certain things here that are recurring. So it's sort of like this work situation. It appeared for a specific time, and I feel like you might have gotten comfortable. It might have been, quite good. And I feel that something happened recently where you feel like you couldn't affect the outcome. So now you're shifting gears, which is a great thing that you're doing. It harkens back to this concept about, seeing where we have been in the same situation, the same predicament in the past, and what did we do back then versus what we're about to do now, so that we can break out of those predicaments and break out of those cycles for good. So I feel a lot of change is happening for you for this month that needs to be reflected upon, and that needs to be, brought into the future. The insights, you need to extract the insights, the wisdom, understand why it happened the way it did so that you can move on, okay? So I hope that makes sense. And then on the other hand, let me talk about the communication, because I brought that up. I feel like a lot of you too are trying to talk to somebody, right? You're trying to have a conversation with another person. And I feel like the person is so entrenched in their beliefs that it could create situations where there might be falling outs between people. two people not seeing eye to eye because their worldviews are greatly shaped by their upbringing. It's greatly shaped by the family unit that they grew up in. And I feel for a lot of you, this might be a relationship partner. You can't see eye to eye, mainly because of religious differences, because of ideologies, or even, childhood conditioning, things that you've held on to. And I honestly think that it has nothing to do with right and wrong, because there isn't really a right and wrong. It feels to me as if it's hard for you to work together with another person because you're just like, they're so rigid, they're so tunnel vision, they're so fixed in their ways. Well, you're also very fixed in your ways, and you see reality in a very specific way as well. However, I feel like this person, going back to life experiences, going back to, having to worry about survival, they're approaching the same topic from a different viewpoint that you might not be aware of. And you yourself are approaching the topic from a different viewpoint that they're not aware of. So I'm seeing two people, with different histories here. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of mutual respect for one another's intelligence, one another's work ethics as well. But you're not seeing eye to eye in the same manner because the way you were raised, your worldview, your life experiences have been very different. And so that's what I'm sensing here. And I just want you to soften up, a little bit when it comes to communication. It's not all coming from you. It flows both ways. If you are dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay, and I'm seeing like a lot of Pentacles card here, and especially in the relationship sector. If you're dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, you're probably racking your brains trying to figure out why are they like this. And a lot of it has to do with, the fact that they had to get out into the world at a very young age. They had to grow up really fast, so they never got to enjoy their childhood. They never had it easy. They had to always, struggle, tough it out. And so they see the world as a very pessimistic place. And I feel like you might be on the more optimistic end, and you're just like, why are they so doom and gloom? Why are they like this? And you love them, and you want to change. You want to help. But I feel like they're seeing the world in their own worldview, and it might be all about antagonism. It might be, winner takes all. And so that's what you're dealing with. And on the other hand, if you're dealing with other signs, if you're dealing with like another relationship partner, possibly a fire sign, I feel like there's a family unit that can be had here. But I feel like there might be some institutional things getting in the way. Okay, so that's the message I'm hearing. Like institutions getting in the way, religious institution, governmental institutions getting in the way of the relationship. And then for others of you, you have a solid relationship partner. And they are very, very stubborn. They're very, very just, they can't see outside of themselves, okay? You might think they can't see outside of themselves, but I feel like they have enough under their belt, life experience, where they see things clearly. So reality is all relative in this spread, and I feel that, you're vehemently fighting for what you believe to be your truth, your reality, and it's coming in opposition for against somebody else's version of reality, and both of you have different lifestyle, upbringing, and that's where the problem is, okay? So it's not good or bad. It's just something for you to understand and to take into account when approaching somebody of a different perspective. And you're just like racking your brain trying to figure out why they are so fixated, why they're so stubborn, why they are the way that they are. We are all, conditioned a specific way from childhood, okay? And from our own life experiences too. And that's why we are the way that we are. And we can't really change it after a certain point, okay? But I feel like keeping yourself a little bit more open-minded as well might be helpful in dealing with this person. And doing so will allow them to also soften up a little bit so that you can understand where they're coming from and they can understand where you're coming from. So we have a family unit here. We have an institutional like marriage here. So this is the Hierophant is a marriage card, and it basically denotes a situation where the marriage is very stable or the relationship is very, very stable. So I feel like many of you have made a recent gesture to somebody in your life to take the relationship to the next level. This is a card that indicates to me you're with somebody who is very good for you, and it can lead to marriage down the line, or it might have already, been a marriage situation right now, and things are looking really good and stable. And then for others of you, I feel like you are seeking some type of therapy, like going to see a counselor, marriage counselor, or even like pre-marriage counselor, like pre-marriage counseling sessions with a significant other, so that you can, ensure the success of it. And others of you, I feel like your religious affiliation, the things that you believe in is preventing you from meeting people from all walks of life. It's not a bad thing, but I feel like you might have religious considerations when you date, and there's nothing wrong with that, There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it is limiting the people that you date. So you might have you might have family expectations. You date, this person from this group, or, things like that. So I feel like it is, these are barriers, though. I feel like it is restricting your ability to meet people, okay? So let me see overall. But I feel it is a really good card for, coupled people. People who are in a relationship right now. It is a very stable card. Okay, and I'm going to pull out one more card here to see which direction we're headed. Okay, so let me talk about going back to the earth sign, but let me see first. Okay, so what it's showing me here is, let me talk about the singles first, okay? So sorry for the switcheroo, but let me talk about the singles. So singles people, we have here the Four of Cups and the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So the Nine of Wands in the reverse, this is a situation where you are no longer putting yourself on hold. You are assessing the opportunities, the romantic opportunities that are coming your way. And I feel like a lot of you have been through a bad breakup in the long distance past, because these are showing up in your past, which means in the long distance past you were very hurt. You got out of a battle, So this is a guy who is battle scarred, male or female, who has been very battle scarred, battle weary, and they're not interested in engaging in conflict. With it in the reverse position, I feel like you've healed up. You've taken adequate time to be on your own. So you're not bringing the baggage into new relationships, okay? And because you have taken time to be on your own and to be single and to, figure out what you want and what kind of relationship you want, I feel that you have started dating, okay? For some of you, the past 4 years. For others of you, the past 4 months, you have started dating and you're feeling quite good about the options that are available for you. And what I feel then is, coming to the present environment, we have here the Ace of Coins. This is a brand new relationship that is built on stability. So it ties in with this card here. Both of these are earth-based signs. So the Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles. You want a relationship that is solid. So you're not playing anymore. You do want something that you can build upon. So you want, like to date somebody for a few months and then call them your girlfriend or your boyfriend. and then get engaged, get married, have a few kids, buy a house, things like that. You want the whole 9 yards, and you see potential in another person, and you want to build the relationship. So you have somebody in your life right now that you really, really care about, okay? And the others of you, you might be dating this person, or you might really be eyeing this person. And the person shows up here as the star. And I feel like this can be a situation. Sorry, there was a bug. This can be a situation where the person, he or she, knows that you are very serious, but he or she might have cold feet. So they're not really sure whether or not they can have a relationship with you. They're getting cold feet, and I feel like there are certain things in their lives as well that they're not really certain about. And likewise, you're trying to build a relationship, and that can go the distance. But you yourself, in terms of your own work, the direction of your work, your career track, what you want out of life, these things are not solidified yet. And so they're saying the obstacle being that, you will find that right person for those who are single. But you also need to focus on your career. You also need to focus on the bigger picture, where you want to be. And once all of those big picture things have come into focus, then you will find the right person to fit into that picture. Okay? So I feel like for those of you out there dating, you might be wondering, why can't I meet the one? And I feel that you might be dating, but your main picture for your own life in terms of career, geographical location, where do I want to be? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Those things have not been worked out from your end just yet. And so you might not be at the right time to branch out and, attract the right person into your life at this time. So that's just, food for thought for those who have not been successful, okay? But either way, I feel like others of you, you have a new relationship. For some of you, it could be an earth sign. I'm seeing all kinds of signs actually coming through. For some of you, it could be an Aquarius here with this star card in the reverse. I feel like this person might be in a healing profession. They might also be in the service industry. So actually, they might be of service to humanity somehow. They might be a teacher, a counselor, a therapist, or they might be in the healing profession some way, doctor, dentist, things like that. They're not on the top of their career field just yet. So I feel that they're having trouble finding their foundation. And as a result, it's kind of hard to build with this person. It doesn't mean that it's not possible. It just means that it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of trial and error for you to be able to gain success, okay? I do see like incompatibilities here. We have the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is a person that will stubbornly and vehemently fight for the things that they believe in. They will fight for their ideologies. They will fight for, their beliefs. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody that won't back down from a conflict. And I do see multiple rounds of conflicts coming through with this person. You admire their drive, their ambition, but I feel like it's hard for you to understand how this is going to work, because innately you might not have the same value system. You might not believe in the same things. You might not be of the same religion. And so I feel like religion possibly might be a hot trigger topic. Religion and family. Religion and family might be a hot trigger topics for those of you in a relationship with a specific person. You feel like every time we bring this up, we end up in an argument. So I feel like that's what's happening here. And then the foundation, we have the moon. This indicates romance overall. So this is like, going out, listening to music, going out dancing, going to concerts, having a lot of date nights, and having a really good time where you have a very strong emotional connection with another person. It's linked up here as well with the Seven of Cups and the 10 of Wands. So a lot of you have dropped your expectations about, dating a specific type. You're going after different types for those who are single. You have a lot of options that you are entertaining that are on your plate. And there's a lot of social outings. There's a lot of date nights with possibly dating different people. Or if it's the same person, there's a lot of activities that's happening, okay? A lot of just a really good emotional connection overall as the foundation. And we have as well coming through in the future an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, that you are making a romantic gesture to. And this is a long-standing relationship. I feel like you've been together with this person for quite some time. And I feel that it seems to me like they're very stubborn, but you are compromising. You're understanding where they're coming from, because I feel like you're going to have some deeply profound conversations so that you can understand, why they behave the way they do. And a lot of it has to do with their childhood upbringing. And so you're, accepting them for who they are. And I feel that the relationship still requires a little bit of maneuvering. It needs a lot of work, but I feel that it's going to work out. For singles, you do have candidates coming through that wants a solid relationship. So this is a good month for you to really get out and date. And especially if you have started a new job where you feel confident about your career track. The new candidates will be coming through. I do see an earth sign. I do see another water sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and another water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And they do want relationships, okay? They're not just looking for one-night stands or, flings, like short-term flings. They are looking for a relationship. So I feel like you're in good hands here, okay? Put yourself out there. It is a really good time, mainly because, we have the constellation being in a fellow water sign, where you will meet somebody that you have a very strong emotional, spiritual connection with, all right? For those in relationships, give your partner a little bit more leeway. And likewise, they themselves need to give you a little bit more leeway, because I feel like you're having trouble overcoming these innate differences and stubbornness between one another to have a harmonious relationship. But it's possible. It's just requires a little bit more of like putting yourself in their shoes and understanding where they're coming from. And likewise, they will do the same for you. Okay? So I do wish you the best, Scorpios. It seems to be a very good month. Okay? Just be a little bit softer with communication. All right? So if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can visit my website. It is in the description box below. If you'd like to donate to my channel as well, it's always greatly appreciated. The link is also in the description box. And I believe currently I'm booked about a week and a half out right now. All right. I'll be back for the mid-month reading. Take care of yourself, Scorpios. Bye-bye.